I'm Brooke Stembridge. I am the Literacy Coordinator and Federal Programs Director here in Lee County. We are in our first year, just finishing our first year of implementation of Benchmark Workshop in grades kindergarten through 5th. In order to have a smooth and successful implementation, we use the Benchmark Workshop coach, Vicki Deal. Vicki Deal is an instructional coach who is trained in Benchmark Workshop. Vicki comes in and models for our teachers, and our teachers are watching remotely because of COVID-19. And then we have opportunities to discuss, so we can see it in action. And then also, she teaches alongside with our teachers so that they have the experience.
Today we are remotely watching Miss Dill, who is a representative contracted by Benchmark Workshop, work with one of our 3rd grade ELA teachers, Leanne Hunt. What we just finished is the first session, which is them planning the lesson that they will teach today. So Miss Dill met Leanne where she was in the program on the day that she was in the program, and sat with her to discuss learning targets, strategies, modeling, guided practice, and independent practice.
Now, by looking at how poets use figurative language, boys and girls, they use figurative language to express their feelings and ideas, and we can think about how we want to use the figurative language when we're talking. Like when we want to make a friend laugh, we might want to put some figurative language in our conversation with them, okay? And in our writing as well. For example, if I said my cat is a monster, am I literally calling my cat a monster? No. Okay. I'm just meaning that my cat is mean and misbehaves and gets into trouble all the time.
If I wrote a letter to the teachers in the school and I said, my fellow teachers, that means teachers that are like me or with me, okay? And if you wrote a letter, if Ace wrote a letter to his baseball team and it said my fellow players, that means they're players that are with him, kind of in the same group.
We use this to teach reading, writing, phonics and word study, and also grammar. It uses the workshop approach. What that means simply is that teachers introduce with a mini lesson, kids have a workshop where they practice what was taught, and then there's a debrief in the end.
I'm not giving you minutes here, I'm just showing you a visual, okay? It may even be more of this because you do have the phonics category.
Or the painting. What are some questions or comments you possibly have? Yes.
I noticed that on a lot of the tests, there's a question about context clues. Like there's usually 2 questions per test, 2 or 3 questions per test, and usually there's a lesson per week. How do you kind of mix up how to teach that? Teach the context clues? Is it just every single week you're doing you're showing them and then they do it, or are there different ways? I mean, does that make sense? Or is that something
Do you feel like you don't have enough strategies
In your toolbox to teach them context clues?
Maybe. Yeah.
So,
Is that what y'all doing?
to answer your question, I would have to first look at several different 2nd grade's context clues lessons.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you some questions in order to help me understand, okay?
One of the takeaways from this particular part of today's experiences is to just slow down and think about what you're saying and how you're saying it, whether you would use a think aloud or have partners talk. Think that through before you actually teach the lesson, so you can think about, okay, are kids going to respond well to this, or should I add more to it? And also make sure you're looking at your formative assessments based on literacy behaviors and observations.